Welcome to FMA0146 Basic Mathematics. In this video, we are going to discuss application of differentiation in economic and business. We actually, for this section, we are having a very simple question related to cost, revenue, and the profit. There is no such thing more difficult than this. Okay, so no need to worry. Okay, so over here, the first slide is showing you that is the effect or the importance or the notation used in this chapter. Okay, so if I have a cost, or we call it as a total cost, we use a capital C, and then if for the price, okay, price we use a small letter P, revenue we use R, and after that, because the P is already taken by the price, so over here for the profit we are using the symbol of the pie. Okay, it's a huge pie over here. So now, then you will see that what is the meaning of this. Okay, for the in the exam, the formula provided to you is only the pi x equals to rx minus cx, and the px equals to rx over x. There is no others than these two only. Okay, so now, so over here, if you see that is we have a cost when if we finding the c prime x actually is called marginal cost, and then we have an average cost. Average cost is the cx over x. Actually, I think there is I think over here I already forgotten there is a bar over here, so we have a c bar x equals to cx over x, and then the price function is a p, and then we have a revenue is xpx. And okay, so that's mean that actually for this one you no need to remember memorize, because rx equals to xpx is already provided. So marginal is our prime, and then the profit is here our x minus cx, and then marginal profit is this one. If you notice, if the question asking for marginal, means that you need to find the differentiation. Actually, this will be the application of the differentiation in the economic and business. Now we look at the first one is about cost function. Cost function, CS is the cost function, which is the total cost to produce X unit of product. So that means you have how many, you're going to produce how many X. And then over here, you have something called total cost. What is total cost? Total cost is the fixed cost plus the variable cost. So, or sometimes you will see that I'm using FC plus V X. Okay, this one is a fixed cost plus the variable cost is a CX. And the fixed cost, well, what is the fixed cost? Is the cost incurred when no profit, when the number unit of the produce is the fixed cost is the cost incurred when no unit of product is produced. That is a fixed cost. Okay, for example, for the fixed cost is the rental of your your factory, or the electricity, or the water, or some of the utilities. Okay, that one is called fixed cost. Means that your factory or your business is not running and yet you still need to pay for it. That is called fixed cost. So, and then we have an average cost, means that is a cost to produce one unit of the product. Means is you just estimate. Okay, this one is basically you said that is the total cost. Let's say total cost to produce 100 unit, let's say is 1000 rm. So you can say that is you produce one unit is average 10 ringgit. Okay, so this one is an average. But the thing is, in reality, it is not like this, because certain time, if you want to produce something, the optimum, if you produce 50, because of the machine, because you produce 50, they already reach the maximum. If you force the machine to produce more, and then maybe you will need to spend more. Okay, so that's why it's not every times when you try to produce more things that your cost is going to reduce. Yes, the average cost is going to reduce, but the thing is, the real cost is not necessary is like that. Okay, so what is the marginal cost function? Marginal cost function is the additional cost, if you see that is an additional cost, incur as a result of producing and selling one more unit of the product at the production level. So means that when marginal C prime 10 means that you're going, means the additional cost when you produce the 10th, okay, the number 10 product. Okay, so now we look at the one example. Given the cost function in Rm, so you have a Cx equals to 339 plus 25x minus this one. Find the fixed cost. So the fixed cost means that you didn't produce anything, so we're going to have a C0. So you substitute 0 inside here, you got the C339, so your fixed cost is 339. And then the second one, they're asking for the average cost. So we know that its average cost is C bar X. So Cx over X. So you use this formula Cx divided by X. So you will get this one. And then the next question is, they ask you the C bar 10 and interpret the value. So, and then you just substitute the 10 inside here, and then you get the 58.04. So what is the meaning? At the production of level of 10 units, the average cost of producing a unit is 58 ringgit 04 cent. Okay, so means that is, if you product 10 unit, each unit is going to cost you 58 ringgit 0.04. And then the next one is we are going to find its marginal cost. So you differentiate 339 differentiate get 0. Okay, 339 differentiate get 0. 25x get 25. And this one bring it down is negative 0.018. And then this one multiply is a 0.0012 x squared. And if you substitute 10 inside, so you will get 23.32. So the interpretation of this one is, at the production of 10 unit, the production cost is increasing at the rate of 23.32 per unit of product. In another word, that is, if you want to produce the 11th unit of the product, it will cost you 23.32. Okay, now, if over here I do two more calculation. One is I calculate marginal cost when 100. So means that if I want to produce 101 unit, so I need to spend 90 Rm. So means that when I produce 100 units, is cheaper when I produce my 11. So means over here is fulfilling the more the merrier. But when I'm producing 200, what I'm going to get is I'm going to spend, if I want to produce the 201 unit, I'm going to spend 37 Rm. So what is going to tell you? It means that if your optimum is already exceed, okay, so means, although in our mind that is, we keep on telling ourselves that is, if we keep on producing more, our cost is going to reduce. No, because we have the limitation of the machine, manpower, and so on, especially manpower. Okay, so maybe the stuff you have is enough for you to produce, let's say, 150 unit, but at a certain time, you force them to produce 200 unit. So what is going to happen? Because you need to pay overtime to them, so it's going to increase the cost. So there is an optimum time, optimum value for the production. Okay. Now we look at the second example. The management of ABC company, a manufacturer of a manufacturer for the toys, has asked for a new cost study to improve next year budget forecast. They pay rent 5,000. Okay, rent 5,000, and they pay an average 800 per month for the electricity, and now, each toy required 5 Rn plastic and 2 Rn in cloth. Okay, now, the first question is how much will it cost them to manufacture 1,200 toys annually? Annually means is per year. Okay, 1 year you have 12 months. Okay, now over here, if you can see that is we come out two different costs. One is rental and one is electricity. Rental and electricity, okay, for this case, they didn't, maybe this company, this factory, maybe their machine didn't use the electricity. But as we know that is, maybe if you use more, when you use more machine, your electricity is going to higher. But this one, they didn't make the question so complicated. So they will just fix the electricity and they fix the rental. Okay, so over here, first thing, we need to calculate the fixed cost first. Okay, so our fixed cost over here will be 5,000 for the rental, 800 for the electricity, because the question asking for annual, so we time with 12. So by anyhow, whether you're producing your machine, you're producing your toys or you're producing 1,000 unit or 10,000 unit, you need to pay average of 69,600 per year. Okay, now if you want to produce 12,000, okay, so I need to have my fixed cost plus the variable cost. What is the variable cost means that is, if I produce one toy, I need 5 ringgit in plastic and I need 2 ringgit in cloth. So to produce one toy, I need 7 ringgit. So I need to times with 12,000, and then I sum up is 78,000, and this one I'm going to time with 24 is 4,000. Okay, now what is this question trying to tell you? We used to be thinking that is, if I produce 1,200 toys, if we need 78,000. Most of the time, we just think that is, if I produce 2,400, means is two times of this one. Normally, we just think that is going to times 2. But in this case, this thing not happen because the fixed cost is influencing your calculation. Now we look at the third example. A certain manufacturer produces flashlight with a daily total manufacturing cost in dollar. So we have a CQ, 0.01 QQ, and so on, where Q is the number of flashlights produced per week. And they ask you to determine the marginal cost. So the CQ actually is a cost. So you differentiate and then you got the marginal. Okay, so and then they ask you to calculate the marginal cost when you're producing 200, 300, 400, and 600. And what can you conclude from your result? So, and then what you need to do, just substitute the 200, 300, and 600, 400, and 600. And you see that is 200 costs you 20 unit, 300 costs you 19. And if you go by 400, it's already increased back. And if you produce 600, you're going to spend 52. So you can see that is, if you produce 300, actually is the cheapest. the cost going to cost you is the cheapest. But when you force it going for 400, the price is slightly increased already. And if you go by 600, it's already double, almost triple of the 19. So that's why sometimes you need to be thinking, is it worth or not, whether you want to keep on additional uh product. Okay, so that's why certain time we were just thinking that, okay, why certain company they limited to any certain production? Because they know that is they produce more, not necessarily they're going to profit more, because their cost is increased maybe triple or maybe 4 times or 5 times of the original. You need to always remember is because we have the constraint, especially is the human cost actually is the most expensive. Okay, now finish our cost, we go for our price and revenue. Okay, px is the price or demand function, which is the unit price offered for x unit of the product demanded. Revenue or the money you get actually is what is the price multiplied with the unit you sell. Okay, and as I said, marginal means that which is the additional revenue if you sell extra 1 unit. Or over here also saying that is R prime X is represent the instantaneous rate of change in total revenue given a change in a number of units sold. Okay, so means that if you sell extra 1 unit, how much you're going to earn. Okay, so we look at the first example for the excuse me, for the revenue. A firm's demand, okay, sorry, there is no X actually. Okay, a firm demand function for a good, okay, good over here actually is called product. For a product is given by Px equals to 100 minus 0.02x. Find the revenue. Okay, so from the formula given, Rx equals to Px times x. So you multiply with your x. So you got 100x minus 0.0x squared. And then the second question asks you average. So you just divided your revenue with X. So this one. So actually you said that there is no difference with this one. Yeah, I agree. Okay. And they ask you to calculate the average for 100. So if you substitute inside, okay, so you will get 98. So the imputation of this one at the production of level of 100 in unit, the average revenue, okay, the average money you can get, okay, you have to remember revenue is not profit. Revenue is what is the thing, what is the amount money you going to get if you sell. It's not say profit. Also, the average revenue producing a unit is 98 ringgit. So, and then they're asking for marginal. So you differentiate from the Rx. So it's 100 minus 0.04x. And if you remember, these two, if you notice, these two formula are not the same. Okay. And then you get 100. So if you selling, okay, so it means that if you sell, okay, if you sell 101, okay, the number 101 is going to give you a 96 as a revenue. That is the meaning of our prime 100. Okay, now we go for the next one is profit. Okay, everyone love profit. Okay, but although we use the word profit, sometimes, okay, if your revenue, okay, if your revenue more than your this one, means that you earn money. Okay, this means you earn money. If revenue equals to cost, means that you only work for free. okay, because you didn't earn anything, you didn't have any profit. And the worst case is if your RX is less than your cost, that means you are losing money, okay. So that although the function of the profit is always actually is the revenue minus your cost, that means how much money you earn from that. But the thing is, the world is not as pretty as we think. Sometimes, although you work hard, you didn't get what you should get back. Okay. So as usual, average means that you get your profit divided by X. Okay. Now over here, that is we have the marginal. If you see that is actually is R prime X minus C prime X, okay, so you learn from the chapter 6 that is you can differentiate separately, or you can get the formula, okay, after you arrange them, okay, you arrange them nicely and then you differentiate, they will give you the same answer. So now we look at one example. First example, assume that the fixed cost is 850, variable cost per unit is 45, and selling price per unit is 65. Okay, first thing, they ask you to write the cost function. Okay, our cost function is the fixed cost plus variable, so it's 850 plus 45. This one is 45x. Okay, what is revenue? Revenue is what our price times with how many unit we sell. So it's 65 times X. So now they ask you profit. Profit, we know that is revenue minus cost. So we get 65 minus 850 plus 45. So means is 20X minus 850. Okay, from here, actually you need to know that is if, okay, if I get 20x minus 850 equals to 0, okay, so my x actually is 850 divided by 20, so it's 42.5. So means at least I need to sell 43 and above to earn money. If I sell less, okay, let's say I sell 42 unit. It's impossible you can sell 44, 42.5. If you sell 42, you are losing money. Okay. So this is the how the profit function telling you. Okay. If there is over here, there is no taller, there is no you do the free work. This over here doesn't have, okay. So either for in this case, either you are earning money or you are losing money, okay. So after that, they ask you to calculate average profit, so you just divide it by X. If the marginal, you just the marginal, what you need to do, marginal, you differentiate. Okay, see over here, 20x minus 850, so you differentiate, you will get 20. So what it tell you that is, regardless how many unit you sell, actually you are almost getting profit is 20. Actually it's not that true, okay, because if you sell below 42, you didn't earn money actually, okay. Okay, this one is basically is just a guideline. Okay, now, and then for the second example, revenue and cost function for a company is given as below. So this one is your revenue and this is your cost. First, they ask you to find profit. So profit is revenue minus cost. So revenue minus cost, and simplified, you get this one. Average, so you are per X. So this one is your average. Marginal, you differentiate from here, and then this one is the marginal profit. So now we look at the example 3. A company produces and sells a product and the fixed cost of that company is 6,000 and variable cost is 20 Variable cost is, excuse me, is 20 ringgit per unit and sell the product 50 ringgit per unit. Find the total cost. Okay, so total cost actually is a fixed cost plus with variable cost. So fixed cost plus variable cost. So it's 6,000 times with 20 plus 25x. My revenue is the selling price times with how many unit is 50x. And now, finally, they ask you to find the profit function and determine the profit when 1,000 units are sold. So you just pi x and then you calculate and substitute 1,000 into here. So you get 19,000. How many units must be produced and sold to yield a profit of 10,000? So now you need to have 10,000 as the profit. So we just using the revert. So 25p, okay, minus 6,000. P actually is how many unit you need to sell. Maybe you can use X actually, or if you want, you can use Y. And if you sell 640 unit and you're going to earn 10,000 ringgit. Okay. Now, finally, you reach to the maximum and the minimum cost for the revenue and the profit. Okay, over here, this is the one you need to use the differentiation to prove it is a minimum cost or the maximum revenue and the maximum profit. Okay, now, why is minimum cost? Why is maximum revenue? Okay, if you are doing business, you want profit. Okay, you don't want minimum profit. You want your cost as low as possible and you want to sell as much as possible. Okay, this is called business. If you want to have low revenue or the low profit, please do charity. Okay, there is no such thing. When you are doing business, everyone want profit. If not, no one will do the business. Now, example one, weekly profit function of a company is given by pi q 1,400 q minus q square minus 240,000, where q is the number of units produced per week. Okay, calculate the number of units to be sold to maximizing the weekly profit. Okay, so what we need to do, you recall back what you learned in chapter 7.2. So what we first thing, from this profit, we differentiate one time and then we're looking for the stationary point. So my Q is 700. Okay, so when I know that my Q is 700, I try to differentiate it again. This one is called second derivative test. So I differentiate the second time, so I will get -2. And then -2 is less than 0, so it's a maximum. So if I produce 700 units to be sold to maximize the weekly profit. Okay, from here, basically you can guess is here. Regardless how many you sell, this company is always profit. Okay, in another way to say so. Okay, now example 2. A production facility is capable of producing 60,000 microchips in a day, and the total daily cost of producing X microchips in a day is given by this one, the cost. Okay. And how many microchips per day should they produce in order to minimize the production cost? So they want to know the production. So what you need to do, differentiate. Okay, 250,000 is going to become 0, 0.08, and then differentiate this one, you will get this one, and equate to 0, my x equals to 50,000. So if I substitute 50,000 inside here, and that is going to greater than 0, so it's minimum. Okay, so if you see that over here, this company should produce only 50,000 microchips to minimize the cost, although it able to produce 60,000. Okay, so maybe, yes, maybe you said that is if they produce more, and then you can earn more money, not necessary in that way. Yeah. Okay. And then example 3, given the total cost CQ and the demand function is PQ, and now find the total revenue. Revenue is price multiplied with the total unit, and over here actually Q is the number of unit. So you have 20Q minus Q square over 20. Now maximize the total revenue, you differentiate and then equate to 0, and you always need to use the second derivative test to prove that it is a maximum. Okay, maybe if you look at here, most of the example showing that is a maximum or a minimum, but the problem is that is a compulsory step to support your answer. Okay, if you didn't do, then your marks will be deducted because you didn't prove or you didn't show to us it is a maximum or it is a minimum. After that, what you need to do, you substitute 200, so you get your revenue is 2,000. Okay, and then later on, they ask us to maximize the profit. What is profit? Is the revenue minus the cost. And then if you substitute this one, you simplify and differentiate. And the thing over here is 107. Okay, and if you substitute 107.1 inside, and then you will get less than 0. But the thing is, we know that we cannot sell 107.1 unit. Who going to buy the 0.1 unit? So either you give me the answer is 107 or 108. Okay, so but over here, if you see that is 107 is the n is 57 and this one is n is 52, actually not much different. Okay, from here you can see one thing. Your profit, okay, your profit actually is 803, is about like that. Although if you sell 200 and you will earn 2,000. This one is, as I said, revenue is not a profit. Okay, so thank you. So your chapter 7 is finished. So basic mathematics already closed the gate. Later on, we will have some discussion in the class. Thank you.